I'm back to tell you more crazy things that happened with my mom, but this time we're adding a new crazy side character, my sister. One story that comes to my mind is that my mom made my sister dinner and she made it with like white rice instead of brown rice. And my sister got so mad by that she literally threw the plate at my mom's head. My mom literally did everything for her. Like, she let her think that she could get away. My mom just bent literally to my sister's like every dying need, and she just did everything for her. And so like my sister started to like snap when she was like 15. I don't know like why she went insane, but she started to get like all these crazy anger issues, and the cops would be at her house at least like 2 times a month, and it was so fun. My sister was just really a violent person and really like angry, and she had issues. Okay, I mean, like, we all had issues living there. Okay, so she wasn't the only one, obviously, but she just took it out in mean ways. And I would try to defend myself, and my mom would tell me to defend myself, but then I would defend myself and I would literally get screamed at for no reason, be like, why'd you defend yourself, why'd you defend yourself? But then when I would talk to her about it separately, she would tell me to defend myself, but when I would defend myself, I would get grounded. Nothing happened to my sister, literally nothing. She could beat up my mom, she could break doors, she could do whatever, and my mom didn't care. Now that we're going into the whole breaking doors thing, my sister would literally break doors and break into rooms. I taught her how to break into rooms. I literally don't know why I did that. She would break into rooms, and my mom proceeded to get herself a new lock on her door and just like leave me out, and that was basically it. Like, my sister could still break into my room. She couldn't get into my mom's though, just mine. My mom got a door with a key, but like my door, you could put like a little thing like this in, or a Q-tip, and you could just like push the lock through and it would just like open. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not perfect either. Like, I pushed my sister down the stairs one time, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. But I'm just saying, I'm not perfect. My mom always told me that I was just the guinea pig child, and it didn't really matter how she parented me because she could just fix it with my sister, which she obviously didn't fix it with my sister, because do you see how she looks now? Do you see what she's into? Do you see what she does? Like, she didn't fix it, okay? So I don't really know what that's saying, because look at me, I'm chilling in my studio. Never sat right with me being called the guinea pig child, because she literally just kept saying she just didn't care how she parented me because it was just like a test run. Like, what the fuck do you mean, lady? Sometimes my mom would text me and be like, are you home? And I would have been home for like 4 days. Like, I would literally be home. You could openly see my car in the garage, but she would still text me and be like, are you home? Where have you been? When I've been home the whole time. She just never really cared about what I was up to until it was like a reason for her to get mad and be like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like when she could get mad, then she all of a sudden like gave a fuck about where the fuck I was. But before that, she did not care at all. She became a little bit better for a little bit when I was like 15, when she saw I wanted to like myself, you know. Then she became a little bit nicer, but that lasted like 3 months. My mom would also tell me that she was trying to get my sister taken out of the house and put into a group home, and that she just didn't care at all, and that she was so over. Then she would just be laughing at me with my sister like the next week, and it didn't make any sense to me, because like I just didn't understand, like, how can you say that you just don't want someone in this house and all that, and then just like shit talk me the next week? That's just what she does as a parent, I guess, but still, like, fuck. I don't know what type of parenting method she's using or where the fuck she got it from, but wherever she did, ooh. I know parents leave their kids home alone all the time, but sometimes she would literally just go to North Carolina in the middle of the week for like a whole week, and I had school and everything. My sister had school, and it wasn't, you know, like, she just dipped. Never made sense to me. Like, she literally would just like book a flight and be like, bye. Like, first of all, where the fuck was my invite? Lost in the mail? She just like literally wanted to escape us so bad. Like, fuck. My mom got my sister this German Shepherd, like literally like a purebred German Shepherd. She got her this dog, and this dog like literally ended up being the most vicious dog. Like, it would attack me, it would attack my friends, literally attack the fuck out of my friend, and like cut her leg, broke her pants, everything, and she was bleeding, everything. My mom like gave no fucks, and she would blame everybody but the dog, and she said that I could only leave my rooms at certain times after I got the dog, so I could never like really leave my room at certain times because the dog would be out, and I just knew that I couldn't go out by the dog. But the dog literally gave no fucks about everybody else. Like, everybody else could be out there, but it was just like me and my friends. Like we could never be out of the like my room, and it was like I also would have to text before I would leave my room too and be like, can I come out of my room or what? And she could be like, no, you can't, the dog's out, and I would literally have to stay locked in my room. It was the nicest puppy ever, I swear. I don't know where the fuck they went wrong or what, but he literally went crazy, and we had to send him away for training for a few months, and then he came back and he was still attacking the fuck out of everybody except like them, so it's whatever. I was the one who got banished to my room, so it's fine. I wonder if the dog is still attacking everybody. She made me get rid of my cat, and then it attacked my other cat, and so we had to get rid of my other cat too. And it was just like a whole thing, and then he attacked my cat too. Like, okay, I had 3 cats, but he like attacked my baby cat, and he literally had to get stitches on his paw, and it was like the most horrifying thing for me ever as a cat mom, and I just hated the dog ever since then. Well, I mean, I hated him before that, but that drew the line. I wonder if they're still being crazy together. Like I literally wonder, like, should I drive past their house and like just be like, what are y'all up to? Or no, that's actually stalkers. Like my mom would actually probably put me in jail. My family's kind of cuckoo, but I'm free from them now, and I'm living my best life in my little studio apartment with my cat. I actually don't know where he is, but I'm living my best life now, so it doesn't even matter.
All right, y'all, this is a messy story time that I'm gonna give y'all, okay? All right, y'all, so the story time is about how my mama threw her dad's ashes on my dad for playing with her, or myself. So basically, my dad decided to come out to LA to come and see my mama. Boom. So, you know, they get a couple of little drinks. He comes over, you know, buy us food, all that. So they in the room turning up and all types of stuff, you know, having fun, per usual, how they do. I'm thinking nothing of it. So, as we know way back, when they get turned up, it turns into something else. All the time. I don't know why they did this. My mother gets to asking him questions about all these, let's say, females. Okay? Remind you, she knows the answer to the question, and he lies. Right. But remind you, before he went to bed, he was popping it after she asked him questions. He goes to sleep. She come in the room, she like, God, daddy got me effed up. I'm gonna turn up on this Igga. Okay? She proceeds to tell him, get your out my bed right now before I wet your up, okay? So, he didn't get out her bed. She proceeds to go get her dad's ashes, right? Opens it, throw it on him, and slap him out his sleep. We standing right there. He talking about some, what your mama just throwing me? We laughed. We said we don't know. She was like, that's my daddy ashes. I told you to get out my bed. She get on the bed, she started dancing. She like, yeah, I told you to get out my bed. I told you to get out my bed. He kicked her hard. She flew to the closet. Next thing you know, they start tussling. All I know is I went in my room because, you know, I didn't want to see that. Like, I'm not getting that. You know what you did, mother, to get in this predicament. All I seen was that door, our room door fly open. My dad was dragging my mama by the arm, and she was laughing. She didn't get off my bed. And then he let her go, and she started twerking on the floor. Like, girl, what are you doing?
Bro, this is the story time how I never will, never have, and never freaking did like my mother's sister. So, mind you, I never met this lady a day in my life. She literally disappeared 15 years ago. This is the same age, mind you, before I was born, though. 15 years ago, came back 15 years later, and had 2 children. They're both boys. One of them's gonna be 8. The other one's gonna be 6 now. Yeah. So they came and lived with me, my mom, and my stepdad. We lived in a double wide XL trailer, and it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I had my own bathroom. They had their own bathroom. By they, I mean my mom and my stepdad. So when they came to stay with us, they had to move the living room stuff around. Mind you, they didn't ask my stepdad. Why should they have to ask my stepdad? Because there was not no room for them. Honestly, there really wasn't. The living room was taken up by literally 90% of my mom's plant because she was a plant person, and then the other percent was taken up by a glass table, some fancy ass couches, and a giant TV screen. Okay, it was not that much space in the living room, especially not for 3 people. But they did so anyway, and they ended up breaking my stepdad's brand new glass table. My dad loves him some luxury stuff, so he considers glass tables luxury. So he bought those a lot. And he would freak out even if it was like a coffee stain on there. But anyway, they moved the table. They put 3 air mattresses right there. And he came home. He was like, what the fuck? Mind you, my stepdad, he really do love watching his TV in front of his brand new recliner. He loved him a recliner. So he was thinking, okay, they're just going to stay like tonight. That's it. No, they stayed there for like a whole month. He was livid because he could not watch TV in there because the children was running around, hollering, screaming, breaking things, running into things, dropping things, do everything. Or they would watch cartoons and he could never watch his TV in there because my mom, she would always hog the TV that's in the bedroom, and I would have my TV in my bedroom. I'd be watching it because I don't really like people like that, so I never was out there with them. So fast forward to the real main part. When they first moved in, this was like, I feel like it was like during summer because I didn't have school, but I feel like I did have school. I don't know. But anyway, so she took me to her apartment. Yes, they already had an apartment, but they all of a sudden felt like they didn't feel like steams here. So we had to move all their food out the fridges and the freezer and the cabinet and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And we put half their stuff into storage. I'm thinking they finna throw this food away and go about their day. No, why in the hell? She made me put it in the car. We drive back all the way to my stepdad's house. And mind you, my mom, she's a grocery person. She loves going to grocery shop. So the fridge and the cabinets was always full. Especially when she literally went shopping the day before. It was really full. Why when we get there, I go to my room and I'm laying down because like I already helped you put it in the car. You finna do this yourself. Like I'm not finna do that with you. I already don't like you. I already have an iffy feeling about you, so I'm not finna do that for you. Like an hour go by and I hear thumping, do. So I go out my room. Mind you, my room door is like directly, I can see right through the kitchen. Why did this lady take out all the frozen food that my mother just bought and the food that was in the fridge and the cabinets, take it out and sit it on the table? So I come out my room and I'm like, so I didn't call her auntie, but I'm finna say auntie, I don't want to say her name. I said, so auntie, my mom just bought that food and she's gonna be very mad if she come back to this house and all her food that she just bought is perishing on this table and on this floor. She was like, I don't care, I know your mother's my sister, I understand, she will understand me. I said, okay. I backed up, went back in the room and locked my door. I was like, oh, I'm not a part of it. Why the frick did my mom come home and she was like, Jada? I said, huh? I already knew what it was and I was ready to snitch. I come out of the room, I said, Mom, I didn't do it. Your sister did it. I told her not to do it. She said you ain't care. Why in the hell did my mother in fact did not care? I was confused. But if I did that, I would have been tore up from behind in all sides of the house. I was like, it is a sister. So let me calm down. No, I didn't. I was really mad. So like, oh yeah, school started. He just called me, so I had to reverse it and tell him I'm parked in the same parking lot. Anyway, so weekend school started, so I do it online. So every morning, my mom, she bought me a giant box of a variety of Pop Tarts. Why the hell I come in that one morning and none of the Pop Tarts are there? The whole box is in the trash.
My bad, y'all. I completely forgot I made that video, went to work, and here I am. So let me continue. So yeah, my mom had bought them Pop Tarts only for me because I had like a weird finicky issue. I used to be picky about my food. So I remember this was during COVID because I had home, I was schooling from my laptop from home. I woke up one morning and I would go grab a Pop Tart like I usually do. Mind you, I barely finished one of the boxes inside the giant variety pack. So this one day I had woke up, I grabbed my laptop to go to the kitchen table because I wasn't allowed to do that in my room for some reason. I go in the pantry and where my Pop Tarts, nowhere to be found, but I do see the box laying beside the trash can. So I'm thinking my mom had took the snacks and put them in her room because that's, just in case she don't want them to eat them. You would think, I don't know. So I knock on her door and I say, Mom, can I get a Pop Tart? She was like, yeah, Jada, you already know you can. I don't know why you asking me. So I was like, okay, where'd you put them? She was like, Jada, in the pantry? What do you mean where I put them? I said, well, they're not in the pantry, so I thought you took them. This lady hopped up out that bed so quick and stumbled to the kitchen and she opened the pantry. They was not there. Mind you, my mom's sister and the two children are laying down in the living room. The living room and the kitchen is literally right beside each other. If you know how a trailer works, that's exactly how it works. My mom raised hell. I'm talking raised hell. She woke up everybody, started taking blankets off people, and she was like, where's my baby's Pop Tarts? The aunt was like, my baby's ate them. Is there an issue? Why you say that to my mother? She finna whoop your ass now. My mom went off, as she should, because who was you talking to? My mom was like, well, they wasn't for your children, it was for my baby. I already told you what to eat, what not to eat, because they're for her and not for everybody. I don't even eat those. My husband don't eat those. Woody woody woo. Dumb. I don't care what you eat and what you don't eat. I don't care what you say for your daughter. I don't care about none of that. Bruh, my mom drugged this lady off the air mattress she was on and stood over her and said, you don't care about what? That lady was scared to her bones. But anyway, they was arguing back and forth how siblings do. And then my mom had took me to the store and got me a different type of Pop-Tarts and told me to keep them in my room only, don't let nobody eat them. So that's what I did because I didn't want nobody to eat my stuff anyway. More issues started adding up, such as I had my own bathroom in my room. And one night I woke up in the middle of the night and I had to use the bathroom. So I walk in my bathroom and I step on the mat and it's straight piss. Yes, it's piss. Why? God, I smelled it. It was very wet. So the next morning I went to go to my mom and my mom was like, well, tell them not to use the bathroom no more. Come here, use this bathroom. So that's what I did. I told them, hey, my mom said you can't use my bathroom no more because you keep peeing on the floor. You don't know how to pee in the toilet like little boy's supposed to. They kept doing it. They kept pissing directly on my mat. So I told my mom again. She said, well, from now on, start locking your door every time you go in there because obviously they're not going to stop. So go ahead. Mind you, my mom's the type of person that like locks doors, especially when it's between her daughter and her. She don't like that. But this time she had to make an exception because they was not trying to listen. So that's what I did. Mind you, this was the exact same time I had left my mom's room after she told me that I went straight to my room. And like she told me to do was to lock the door after myself. So I had to put the latch on the door because the way our house was on a hill, so the door was going to fly back open. So I had put the latch on the door, and I kid you not, before the latch even settled down in the hole, why did my aunt come through the damn door busting through that shit? She busted through the door and tackled me on the bed. I was lost. Mind you, it's little me versus looks like a 250-pound bitch. So I screamed for my mom comes in the room and she's like, what's going on? And she's like manhandling her sister off of me. And I tell her what's going on. And the sister's like, no, your daughter's being very disrespectful. She sat here and locked the door dead in my kid's face, saying that they can't come in here and use the bathroom no more. Yeah, I heard y'all conversation. Y'all weird, y'all funny acting. My mom was like, well, I've been telling you to tell your kids to stop pissing on her floor. I've been telling you to at least help around. You don't want to do that. I've been telling you to stop eating things that don't belong to you in this house. I've been telling you this. I've been telling you that. So this is a very, very small issue. Why this lady and my mom going back and forth? All right, cool. The next day, basically the morning, I pretend like I sleep because like sometimes I really don't like being bothered more. Like I said, I'm not a morning person. I hear a lot of commotion at my door and I'm like, what is that? So like I open my listening ears and apparently my sister's mom, my mom's sister shaved her head, bald. She was like, it's all because of Jada. She stressed me out. I stressed her out in my own house when she did the thing she did. Okay. She said, it's all because of Jada. She's stressing me out. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And then she left. Part 2.
Get ready with me while I give you a story time about my toxic family in-laws. I look like my gray cat. Jamie, where are you? Twins! I know my fiance and his family for 6 years now. They've always been somewhat nice, albeit with some microaggression. For example, his mom has told me things like when she was growing up, kids in China was starving. She's jokingly called me flat-chested and said that I have a high forehead. She said things like, I see you living a nice lifestyle. Don't you want to save up to buy a house with Sean? For the past few years, I've just kind of learned to ignore her. The final straw was early after we announced our engagement. She sat me down. This was what she said verbatim. Here in America, traditionally, it is the bride's family responsibility to pay for the wedding. She then proceeded to tell me about the concept of dowry and how my parents have to bribe her to buy her son. She starts giving suggestions like how we should get married in Malibu and rent out a mansion in Malibu for the bride's and the groom's family to stay overnight. I was stunned, and in response to that, I told her that we will be paying for our own wedding, maybe with a little bit of help from my parents, and that we have no plans in the foreseeable future to have a wedding. We would like to be in a more financially viable position, but that will probably not happen in 2 or 3 years. So Christmas comes around, and this time my fiance's sister-in-law starts pressing the issue. His sister-in-law starts telling us that we should stop doing fun stuff so we could save up for the wedding. And I'm like, just because I'm not saving up for a wedding yet, it does not mean that I'm blowing my money on fun stuff. Certainly not her place to tell us what to do with our money. So I stood my ground and told her that we're both responsible adults and we should be able to live our lives the way we want to, especially when we're paying for our own lives. So we got together again with his whole family 5 days after Christmas on December 30th. His sister-in-law and mom confront me and tell me that when I marry into a family, it does not matter what they do. Whether I like it or not, I have to put up with it. The same people who are telling me I need to save up to buy a house and pay for a wedding are also the same people who are telling me that I work too much and that I need to spend more time with family. Not even my family, his family. Society has such unrealistic expectations of women. Sadly, there are women out there who continue to enable misogyny and patriarchy. Anyway, so I ended the conversation with a no and said that I'm not a child and that I am a responsible and independent adult. They need to respect me and my choices. At this point, they start gaslighting me and saying that they're coming from a place of love, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, they can say whatever they want. They can have their opinions, but it does not affect me because I'm not going to do as they say. The feeling when you take your makeup off after a long day of work, heavenly. Now it's time to grab. It's a late dinner, I know.
Not too long ago, I made a story time talking about the time my mom tried gaslighting me. And I wish I could say that was the only time she's ever done something like that, but honestly, I would be lying. So here's another story time on how she tried gaslighting me, but literally couldn't. Growing up, I was never really allowed to do my own laundry, but she had a rule, like, if you stain something, you have to, like, try and rinse out the stain as much as possible. And one time, there was, like, a shirt in the laundry room, and I had it on the floor because I don't want to put wet clothes on top of dry clothes that are sitting in there, you know? And it was, like, a dry fit shirt, so it dried really fast. I want to say I did it probably, like, 2 or 3 hours before my mom found it. But when she went in there, she inspected the shirt because she knew that there was a stain on it because it was on the floor rather than in the hamper with all of the other clothes that are normally dry. So she looks all over the shirt, she finds a stain. Because I couldn't get it all the way out, it was blood. I couldn't get it all the way out, it had dried a little bit. And my mom starts freaking out. She's like, Jasmine, why is there blood on this shirt? Why did you stain this shirt and not get it out? And I'm like pleading with her. I'm like, Mom, I really like tried rinsing my shirt out. I couldn't get it all the way. And she's like, no, you didn't, because otherwise this shirt would still be wet. And I was like, Mom, it's a dry fit material. It's gonna like dry a lot faster. She doesn't care. She's like, fine, I'm gonna go rinse it in the sink right now, and if it's not dry in 2 hours, you're a liar. And I'm like, okay, fine, good, because it's gonna be dry in 2 hours, right? Wrong. She literally waits the 2 hours. She goes, she checks it, she sees that it's dry, balls it up underneath her freaking arm so she can go to the freaking sink and wet it again before my dad gets home. Oh my god, I literally caught her in the act and I started fucking crying. It was my only thing that was gonna like make me like not seem like a liar. My dad comes home and he's like, oh my god, like why are you upset? And I tell him what happened and he believes me low-key. Because my mom comes in after like my dad goes to talk to her for a little bit and she's like, you just showed your true colors, you're trying to get us a divorce. Babe, I'm not trying to get you divorced. I'm literally just trying to not be grounded over a fucking t-shirt. t-shirt. And then yeah, I was never grounded over the t-shirt and it was never brought up again, which is pretty much like my mom's little tell-all that like she was lying, because otherwise like she just does not let me get away with lying. She would ground me no matter what. But that's everything. Bye guys.
Hey guys, so today's my birthday and I'm getting ready, and as I'm getting ready I want to tell you guys how I'm currently staying with my evil ass aunt and everything that she has been doing to literally provoke me to the point so we can fight. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a background information as to why I'm here. So if you didn't know, schools in New York, specifically the Bronx, are really bad. Unless you're rich and you go to like the super fancy school, then I guess it won't be the same situation for you, but my situation was really bad and I knew it was wrong, and I just really wanted to like be closer to success. And I expressed this with my parents, and they basically explained like, oh, like over there in Illinois with your uncles and cousins and stuff, like they have greater opportunities over here, like the schools will definitely be way better for you. And I was like, you know what, yeah, I might just go to Illinois. Like, yeah, I want to go. Next thing I know, they book a ticket and everything, and I was on my way to Illinois within like 3 days. Before I got here, my mom basically warned me about how my cousins, like a couple of my cousins and my aunt, which is my uncle's wife, basically have problems with each other, and if there's any arguments or anything, just don't insert myself in it because it's actually really messy. My mom was also telling me about how my uncle's wife was like telling her, we're gonna call her, what should we call her? We're gonna call her Petty because she's like the most pettiest person ever. So she told me about how Petty was telling her that, oh, like it's always like my cousin starting stuff with her, they're really disrespectful and they're like disobedient, like just like really rude teenagers basically. So I was like, that's actually crazy. So I kept that in my mind. So when I got here, I met up with my uncle and my cousins, and we went to a restaurant to celebrate my cousin's birthday. And when my uncle got up to go to the bathroom, that's when my cousins immediately told me, like, his wife, be careful, she's crazy, like we're not gonna be in the same house as you. We live 2 minutes away from you by car, but his wife is like evil, she's really crazy. So I'm just like sitting there like, oh my gosh, what? And mind you, I still remember what my mom told me, and they're telling me something completely different. So it's like, now it's my turn to see and judge the situation. So when I got here, I met my aunt, and I met her in her room, and she was just laying down. She looked tired, and she was pregnant at the time, so I just thought like, okay, yeah, pregnancy, she's tired, that's understandable. And she was just basically saying like, welcome to the house, our house is yours, like make yourself feel at home and all of that stuff. So I was like, cool. So, at this point, it's been really calm for me, like, within, like, 3 days, but then this one day had came where she just, like, I'm, like, changing my room, like, getting dressed or something, I don't know, I think I was trying on my outfits, and then that's when she just, like, opens my door, doesn't even knock or anything, just comes through my door, and then she looks me up and down, and is like, where are you going? And I was like, oh, like, I'm just changing my clothes, and then she looks me up and down, I was like, so these are the rules in my house. If you see me in the kitchen cooking, always come in to help, always ask to help me. If you come to the house, say hi to me. Every single, Sunday, you clean the house. Consider yourself having no friends over here. If you're over here, you have no friends at all. No friends in the house, nobody in the house. So me hearing this, I was honestly really mad because before even coming here, I literally had a phone call with my uncle, and we discussed about how things are literally going to be for me once I come over here. And I discussed about the whole entire thing with me having friends. I discussed the whole entire thing about me going out. That was all spoken about before I came here. And all of a sudden, she barges in my room, basically changing everything. And I was just like, what? And I sat down in my bed and I'm processing it. Like, there's no way that she said, consider yourself having no friends. No friends in the house, no friends at all is what really threw me off. So I called my mom and told her about what just happened. And my mom was like, what? Like, are you serious? And then she was like, she probably didn't mean it like that. And she was like, either ways, you already know what we talked about. We already came to agreement when it comes to that. Like, don't worry about it. But over time, like, I definitely did not try to, like, I was cleaning the house. I always cleaned up after myself and stuff. And I guess that's not something that's really common that happens here. So whenever she would see me cleaning and stuff, she would always hype me up. Like, yeah, you see how Nabi's cleaning and stuff? Like, you guys should be doing that too. But then I started noticing she would literally try, like, she wanted me to become her maid. And I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, there was this one time I was literally doing laundry, and then she came in with her whole basket, and she just gave it to me. And she was like, here. Not even telling me, please, not to, like, that's just the entitlement that came when, that's what I faced when it came to her. And there was also one time I was in my bed. This was like, I haven't even been here for a week at that point. And then she basically calls me out of my room and tells me to clean the bathroom up. By clean, I mean put the chemicals in the bathtub and everything and just scrub it down. Once again, it threw me off because I feel like this is common sense. This is how I grew up. If anybody's going to come over, if you're going to have a guest in your house, you're supposed to clean up the house before the guest reaches. If the guest comes, you don't make them clean up after yourself. I don't even care, like, if I'm going to be staying for you for this amount of time and stuff. You don't make the guest clean up for you. You're supposed to clean up the house yourself. And yeah, she was pregnant at this time. But the thing is, my other cousin who stays in the house, we're going to call him Max. So Max is in the house and stuff like that. Max is 1000% capable of cleaning. But I guess he's super duper lazy. Like, that's something I'm going to say. Very lazy. but he is 1,000% capable of cleaning up after himself. The thing that causes his laziness, that in my opinion, is because there's like no consequences in this house whatsoever. So that's really the only thing that makes him think like, okay, I'm not gonna get in trouble for it, I'm just not gonna do it, you know? So for her to just like completely dump all the chores on me just like really bothered me. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it because she's pregnant and I guess she don't want to argue with Max and stuff. So but eventually I just got really sick and tired of just cleaning the house because it was really just only me continuously cleaning. And the thing is, even after I would clean, it would get dirty so quick, so everybody else was like actually freaking lazy, and I was tired of that. But that would like be a persistent thing. But something else I noticed is whenever my cousin Fatu would come over to like for my uncle to help her with her homework and stuff, because that's her dad or whatever, and he's really smart, they would not acknowledge each other at all. Like my uncle's wife, like my aunt Petty, they would not acknowledge each other at all. And something I also noticed is that whenever my cousin Fatu would like take anything to eat, she would literally complain about it to my uncle, being like, oh my gosh, like, why is she eating this, why is she touching my food and stuff like that, why she's touching our food. And my uncle, who we're gonna call Paul, is the most like, he avoids conflict like 1,000%. Like he just ignores, like he just says like okay and ignores it. Like he is the least confrontational person ever. So that's just like a persistent thing. Like Petty will complain and Paul would just be like okay and not do anything about it. I remember there was this one day where me and Fatu, like, we started becoming close, obviously, because she's around my age and I have no friends over here. She's my cousin. So we got close and stuff. And there was this one day we decided to go to Six Flags together. And on our way there, that's when Petty calls Paul and was basically saying, oh, where am I at? And when he explained to her, like, oh, he's taking us to go to Six Flags and stuff, she was so bothered about the fact that we were going. And it was just like you can feel the hostility because like he was on the phone with her in the car and we're literally listening to the entire conversation, and she was basically trying to convince him like, oh, like they shouldn't even go there, like it's late and stuff like that. But we still went at the end of the day and we had fun. Another weird incident that I experienced with her is I made a friend at school, and one day me and the friend decided that we're gonna go to Starbucks before we get to school. So she would come pick me up, and her mom would like take us to Starbucks. So I wasn't aware that she was gonna pick me up. It was a whole entire thing. So I ended up going to the school bus and going to school, and I wasn't able to text her. So she ended up coming to my house, like ringing the doorbell, saying like, oh, is Nabi home? And Petty, like she answered it from like the doorbell camera, and she was like, who are you? And Nabi isn't here, and why are you here at this time? Like she went to school. And my friend was just like, oh, okay, thank you and stuff like that. So she ended up coming to school and she told me like, where were you? Like I went to your house and you weren't there, and I ended up talking to your aunt. And I was like, oh my gosh, I already knew this was bad. So I get to the house and I go to my aunt's room and I asked her, like I told her like, hey, I know my friend came over and asked about me and stuff, and she completely cuts me off to say, what did I tell you? And I was like, what? And she was like, when you're here, do not consider yourself having any friends whatsoever. And I was like, but my uncle and my mom said I'm allowed to have friends. And she was like, no, you don't even know these people. Like, this is Chicago, babes. We're in a small town in Illinois. You have nothing to worry about whatsoever. Go to part two. Part two about the things that my aunt that I'm staying with is doing to try to provoke me so we can fight and I can end up going to jail. So back in part one, I was talking about how my friend ended up talking to my aunt, asking where I was and stuff, because she was supposed to pick me up so we can go to school together. And okay, after when I came back from school, I talked to my aunt. I was like, hey, I know my friend came over and we were supposed to go to school together so we can get Starbucks. And my aunt cuts me off, Petty cuts me off, and she was like, what did I tell you? I was like, what? And she was like, when you're over here, do not consider yourself having any friends. I was like, my mom and my uncle said I'm allowed to have friends. And then she was like, no, that's not what they told me. You're not allowed to have friends. Stop trying to argue with me. I was like, what? And she was like, what's wrong with the school bus? I said, nothing is wrong with the school bus. We were just gonna go to school together. And it really threw me off because before I came here, New York, I feel like the Bronx is more dangerous than this entire area, way more dangerous. And I was going to school with my friends. There's nothing wrong with taking a free ride from somebody you go to school with. But Lord knows she was making a big deal out of that one. I was like, you know what? I'm done. So the conversation was over with, and I just went in my room and I was just thinking about it. Like, there's no way this woman genuinely does not want me having any friends in this environment whatsoever. You literally take me out from the place that I was born and raised in, the place that I'm used to, and you have me in this whole different environment, a small town at that, and you don't want me having any friends. And it's crazy to me because literally this can literally be the root of depression. This can literally create depression. Maybe I'm dragging it, but like that's just my opinion. So I immediately ended up telling my friends, like throughout every single weird interaction I've got from this woman, I always told my friends about it every single time. They know every detail, probably more than I even know. And we were like all talking about it, and we were like, yeah, that is so weird. Like she genuinely does not want you having any friends and stuff. And I told my mom about it. My mom was just like, shocked. But like something I noticed, my mom is always trying to make excuses for her behavior because she so heavily believes like this woman is like a saint. She like not a saint, but like this woman doesn't mean any harm and stuff. But like everybody knows it was weird. So since I've been staying here, my oldest cousin Stacy, she started coming over here to like see me, hang out with me and stuff. And y'all, when I tell you that this woman, Petty, my aunt, her behavior changed so quick towards me every single time she sees me hanging out with her. It was bad. Like, I started noticing that Petty will literally start trying to talk shit about my cousins around me more. Like, talk about how they're, like, mean to her, evil to her, and she has no bad place in her heart for them, but, like, they have one-sided beef with her and stuff. And it's just, like, every single time she would talk about this, I'll be like, that's crazy. Like, wow, that's crazy. Never try to chip in, because that's not my beef to be putting my mouth in. So I'm guessing since she's seen, like, oh, like, whatever she's telling me is not pulling me away from them, that just made her feel some type of way. There was this one day, I went out with my cousins, like, at what? Like, we left the house at, like, I'll say 8, and I ended up coming back at, like, 10. And basically, nothing happened until, like, the next day. My aunt just, like, talked to me, Petty. We're calling my aunt Petty. I keep forgetting to call her that. But she basically confronted me about it, saying, I know what time you came back, because I checked the cameras, and I don't care if you're hanging out with your cousins, your friends, or whatever, but you're gonna come back at 7. And that just completely rubbed me off, because it's like, girl, okay, friends, okay, I guess that's understandable. You could at least made it to, like, 8 or even 9, but okay, whatever. But my cousins, no. I wasn't even trying to argue with her. Like, y'all, when I tell you throughout this whole entire time, like, I'm never trying to pick an argument with her. Like, I just be like, okay, whatever, that's that. But still proceed to continue doing it. And the thing is, my uncle knows everything. I always tell him before I do anything, I always text him, I always call him, letting him know what I'm gonna do. He doesn't have an issue with anything. It's literally just her. Not even my own mother has a problem with her. It's just her. I also forgot to mention, groceries do not last in this house because there's so many kids that visit, like my uncle's other kids, and groceries don't last. So she decided that like she's gonna give me like whenever we would go food shopping, she'll give me a small portion to keep in my room because like it doesn't last, and I never had to have a chance to like get them before they get downstairs and stuff. So this went on for a while, and there was no issue with it until like the day our relationship completely ended, and I'm gonna tell y'all that. So basically, my cousin, Stacy, she came over to help me install my wig because she's really good at installing wigs and stuff. She's really good at hair. So she came over to help me, and as we're hanging out and stuff, we go downstairs to get something to eat, and we see my other cousin that I dead forgot what I told y'all his name was, but it's the one that is capable of cleaning and stuff, but he just decides to be lazy. So we see him downstairs, and he has like a bunch of sodas. Mind you, we just bought groceries this morning, and he's just like taking a bunch of them to take it to his room. So Stacy takes one from him and says like, thank you. We go back upstairs. She's doing my hair, whatever. Then my aunt, Petty, she comes out her room and goes downstairs to check the kitchen, and she calls me downstairs. She's like, Nabi, come down right now. I go down, and mind you, midway of me getting my whole entire hair done, like lace is not even glued on for real. Like, so she asked me like, did you take the rest of the sodas? Did you finish it? I was like, no. And she asked my cousin, like, did you do it? And he lied. He was like, no, I only took one. And I told her like, no, when we went downstairs, I literally seen him take a bunch. And she was like, Nabi, I know you didn't do it. I seen your cousins come here. And that's when she goes out loud like, if you come over to this house, do not touch my food. The next time you touch my food, I'm gonna call the police. For the first time ever, my cousin responded back. Mind you, this whole entire time that I've been here, I've literally witnessed countless of times where my aunt provoking my cousins, like every single one of them that does not stay in this house. She's always trying to provoke them. So my cousin snaps by basically saying ha, and she was like, yeah, you can say ha all you want, but like the next time you touch my food, I'm gonna call the police. And my cousin ends up coming out of my room and from the top of the stairs, she's like, you're gonna call the police over food? Like, are you serious? Like, you marry a man with all these damn kids and you don't want his kids coming over to eat. And they were going back and forth, and out of nowhere, that's when Petty starts talking about my cousin's mom, saying, oh, your mom's and all that type of stuff. And like, I'm just like shocked. We're both shocked because it's like, where is this coming from? And then that's when Stacy just like reversed everything back to her, saying, no, that's your mom is this, your mom is that. And Petty took so much offense to it. Like, she was not just talking about Stacy's mother. And I ended up bringing Stacy to my bedroom and trying to calm him down, saying like, oh, like, it's not worth it, just like leave it alone and stuff. And she was like, oh my gosh, she's such a freaking bitch. Next thing you know, Petty barges into my room. Actually, she has a baby on her back, and she was like, what did you just call me? They're back to arguing. And at this point, I'm just sitting down on the side of my bed. I'm just watching this go down in my door frame, and next thing I know, they start fighting, y'all. They literally start fighting, and the baby is still on her back. Go to part 3. So part 3 about how I'm currently staying with my evil aunt who keeps provoking me. So they're at my door frame, my cousin and my aunt, and they're like face to face like this, just arguing and stuff. And low-key what threw me off is because if I literally separated y'all from downstairs, if I took my cousin to bring her in my room so y'all can stop arguing, why would you come upstairs with your child on your back, with your child on you, just to come back to start arguing again, like busting my door open at that too? So I'm sitting on my bed, literally just watching this argument unfold right in front of my eyes, and all of a sudden, that's when I hear my aunt talking to my son, like, "Oh, spit on me, not spit." So I'm sitting down on the side of my bed watching them argue and stuff, cause like I really can't even do anything to stop. Like, so all of a sudden I hear my aunt going like, "Oh, hit me," and then I look and I see my cousin spits in her face, and then that's when my aunt spits back in her face. Next thing I know, they literally start fighting. They start fighting, and I'm just screaming because it's like my aunt has a baby on her. So I immediately rush to try to break it up, and then like the baby is on the verge of falling off her back. And I literally grab the baby, holding the baby, and I'm trying to break it up, but they're not listening. That's when my other cousin, who's in the bathroom, rushes out, and helps me try to break it up. And then the other one who's like in the room, the guy, he comes out trying to break it up as well. And it's like it's not going well. Like no one is listening. So eventually I break it up, and I'm the one who's holding my aunt, and then she literally looks at me and she's like mad. Like I've never seen her look that way. Like it's like I'm the exorcist, like on God. Like it was mad scary. And she was like, "Let me go right now." Like she was about to hit me, and it's like, nah. So I just take my hands off her, and she literally goes back to continue fighting this girl, bro. She's not letting up. We break up the fight once again. She goes back to fight. She literally goes back. It's like 4 times. 4 times. As they're fighting, we literally have a balcony on the second floor, and I'm literally watching as they're like, this is like the balcony, and this is like the both of them. They're like fighting right here, and my aunt is literally trying to lift her up to do you know what. But of course it doesn't work, and my aunt's literally down there trying to lift her up while my cousin is just like boom, 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 boom. They're like fighting all the way down to like the hallway, bro. Like it was actually really insane. And I just took a hint, they're not gonna stop. So I just took my aunt's kids and I just went to her room, and I'm calling my uncle saying like, you need to get here right now. Like your wife and your daughter is fighting and it's not stopping. Sorry guys, but I just realized I just woke up and I'm sick. But when they were fighting, I immediately rushed to my aunt's room since it was empty with her kids and stuff, and I called my uncle. Next thing I know, my aunt comes in the room and my cousin comes in next. And then my aunt is literally locking the door, trying to close the door, while my other two cousins are outside the door trying to like open it to remove my cousin from the bedroom. And my aunt is like, we're gonna fight, like we're gonna fight in here, like go in the bathroom, we're gonna tussle again. And my cousin's like, bro, like just open the door, let me just go out. And then my aunt is like, no, we're gonna fight today. And then eventually my other two cousins ended up opening the door, and next thing I know, my cousin and my aunt are fighting in the big ass bathroom in the room. And I was like, nah, like this is just crazy. So I took the kids into my bedroom, and then that's when my cousin comes in my room, and I went back to my aunt's room. And then that's when my cousin that my aunt was fighting, she comes in the room, and she was like, bro, like that is actually really insane. And like I was just like, bro, I cannot believe that just happened. And I quickly rushed to go to my aunt's room with her kids, because I don't want her coming in here trying to like fight again, because I have her kids in my room where the cousin she was literally just fighting is now in. So I go back to her room and stuff, and she's there, she's on the phone with the police and stuff, and she's like yelling and stuff, and she's talking to me. She was like, bro, you see, your cousin is so evil, this is what I was talking about to you, she's an evil person and stuff. And I'm just like standing there disbelief, while my other cousin, which is the cousin she was just fighting, sister, she's also in the room with us. And then that's when my aunt looks at her being like, please, can you just please leave the room, like Foster, just leave the room right now, just leave. And then Foster was just like, and then she just like goes to my room, and I'm just like, this is actually pretty insane. This is not even all that has happened throughout the fight. I just don't want to keep getting into detail because it's just gonna make the video longer. But sped up, eventually the police comes, and they have them separated. Like they have my cousin who fought outside in the garden, whatever, and they have my aunt in the house. And as I'm in the house, I'm literally overhearing what my aunt is saying, and she literally makes up a whole new story, y'all. Like she's dead ass telling these cops like, my cousin attacked her knowing damn well she had a baby on her back and stuff. And as she's talking, we hear my cousin outside talking to the other officer, yelling and crying and stuff. And that's the one bad thing. Don't do that. Just don't do that. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, and my aunt literally just uses this to her advantage, like going her way to say like, you see, this is what I'm talking about, officer. Like you can't even speak to her. You see the way she's talking to you guys, she's crying and yelling like that. And I was like, bro, there's no way like this girl's trying to sit down, like she's so nonchalant, unbothered, and the victim and shit. Like what you was not dead, I was just provoking the fight. And that's literally, that fight just gave me confirmation about how much of an evil person my aunt is. I literally had to take a pause here to process it real quick. So eventually my uncle comes back and he's talking to the officers and stuff, and the officers also questioned me as to what had happened. And something that made me realize like officially what side of the story my aunt has told the police officers is like, the officer goes his way to even ask me, like, oh, like, would you say, like, it was a fair fight, like, they were both fighting? I was like, yeah, of course, it definitely was. So, I ended up telling my other cousin who didn't fight, like, Fatu, like, oh, like, I was outside, and I was overhearing everything, and like, the aunt is literally spreading a false narrative to the cops that it was one-sided, and she got attacked. And we're just, like, both surprised, because Fatu did not witness the whole entire thing going down. But, of course, she believed everything that I said, because I am the most unbiased person when it comes to the situation. So eventually everyone went home, and CPS came to the house later on, and they questioned everybody. First they questioned my aunt, and then they questioned my cousin who lives with us, and then they questioned me, who was the most reliable person, because again, I am the most unbiased person when it comes to this entire situation. So they asked me what had happened and stuff, and I literally told them what I told you guys. And like, they were just shocked. They were really, really shocked. And they were talking about oh yeah, like, your cousin was definitely provoked and stuff. And as I'm talking to them, explaining them everything, I literally overhear the baby crying, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like, that just sounds too clear. So when I was done with my statement, I went up the stairs, and that's when I seen my aunt left her door wide open, and she's standing near there. She literally heard everything I said. So from there on, it's just been one-sided beef between me and her, and she's the person who got beef with me. I don't have beef with her. She came to my room telling me, oh, like, you need to stop calling your mom for every single little thing. She was mad. She was really, really, really mad. I didn't even care, to be honest. And my mom, like, I told my mom everything about what had happened, and my mom was just, like, really shocked. And that just gave my mom confirmation that, like, she's the most problematic person ever. And my mom felt bad for, like, the people that my aunt beefed with, because my aunt would literally tell her, like, a bunch of lies about these people to make it seem like, oh, they would just come for her and stuff. So, like, now my mom, like, that was confirmation from my mom, like, she's the problem. She's the person that everybody needs to be worried about. So, throughout this whole entire thing, from the start of the fight and then my aunt provoking me and stuff, my mom was mad at me too, because she was like, why didn't you just mind your business and stuff like that. I was telling her, regardless, my aunt was literally planning to drag me into the situation, because she was trying to use me as a person, like, oh yeah, you can ask her, she knows everything too, like, everything I'm saying is true and she can agree with it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put no innocent person in jail. I'm not gonna get any innocent person in trouble. So once my mom realized, like, eventually, like, regardless, my aunt was literally dragging me to the situation either ways. That's when she was like, bro, this is genuinely crazy. Like, stay away from her. Like, be careful around her and stuff. And yeah. I don't know why I forgot to add this, but ever since the entire fight with her and my cousin, she hasn't been purchasing food. Like, every time she would purchase food, she would literally hide it in her bedroom. She wouldn't share with me anymore. As I said before, she would do shady things, like shady as hell, because I started buying my own food. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but I bought my own food, and one of them was eggs, and she literally took my eggs out the refrigerator and let them out. And the next day I realized that my eggs are on the counter. I was like, what the hell? So I just put them back. Day before my birthday, I got my cake and I put it in the refrigerator, and I organized the refrigerator so my cake can fit in the fridge. And she goes her way to literally take my cake out from where I put it somewhere else, and put everything back. And I was like, bruh, moved everything back and put my cake back where it was. She has also started talking a lot of crap about me and my cousins around the house. Like, she would literally walk around the house, you guys, on the phone, switching from our native language to English. And at this point, I think she understands. I understand my native language, because every single time she would say something bad about me on the phone to anybody or to my uncle, I would immediately call my mom, and my mom would literally ring up her phone, but she would never answer. She would never answer the damn phone. And it got to the point where she even told my uncle to tell his sister, which is my mom, to stop calling her phone. One time, my uncle was literally on a trip to New York for work, and there's like, he's not there to purchase the food for us anymore in the house. So that's her duty. She's supposed to cook for us. But she went her way, like, to get like one of the pizza boxes from the freezer, and she cooked it up. After, when I came back from school, I went to the kitchen, I seen it, and I took like 2 pieces of slices. Didn't finish it, and I left it out because it was burning hot, so my other cousin could come down and eat, because he likes pizza too. She comes back from wherever she went, like, I'll say 10 minutes later, and then all I hear is her saying, oh my god, this is crazy. And then she gets on the phone, and then I don't even know who she's talking to, because she's always doing this. Like, she's literally always doing this, so me and her can argue. But she's on the phone with somebody, she's talking about, oh, like, I hear something about pizza, and then I think the person on the phone asked them, like, oh, was it Max? And she was like, no, it was a girl. And one time, like, lately she's been arguing with my uncle a lot, like, literally just starting stuff with him too. Like, everybody in the house is telling her. When I say she has beef with everybody, like, on God, I mean it. And it literally gets to the point where it's like, girl, when are you gonna leave the house? Because she literally said she was gonna leave so many times, to the point she even got boxes. But this woman still remains in the house and literally gets mad whenever my cousins, which is my uncle's other kids, comes to visit him in the house, or when they want to come over to hang out with me. I also forgot to mention, you know how I said groceries does not last in the house, and she thinks, like, she went her way to, like, give me some portions to keep in my room, because she knows I barely have a chance to get food. She goes her way to spread a false narrative around my family that basically we don't like Max, and we're literally always trying to hide food from him and leave him out of everything, like, when it comes to eating food and stuff like that, which is not true, because she know damn well Max big back self is always in the kitchen getting something to eat. He do not care. And back to my aunt Petty calling my mom to, like, basically threaten her about me. Like, I don't even know what she was thinking. What type of person in her right mind will call somebody's mother basically saying, oh my god, like, your child and her cousins are all going down, I'm gonna call the police and I'm gonna let them know what type of person your child is, they lied on my name and stuff like. Why would you feel comfortable enough to tell my mom. Like, I understand you think y'all was close, but y'all was not that close to the point that give you any right to even speak about me like that. But yeah, like lately she's just been doing mad shady shit, and that's why I say like she's just doing all of this so like we could end up fighting so she can call the cops on me. But she has a lot of police reports on her, yeah. Like, it's not even funny, and she has a whole CPS charge too. Like, it's not gonna look good on her.
You know how there are things that your family did growing up that you thought were normal at the time, and then you get older and you're like, oh, that was weird. My parents bought a spicy painting of their friend's girlfriend and put it up in our living room, and I saw it every day growing up. I thought it was a zebra for a long time, and then I learned the truth. I think that's really weird of my parents. Like, their friend would have said, like, I painted this painting of, you know, Stacy, whatever, and my parents were like, can we have that? Can we put that up in our living room? Like, that's really weird of my parents.
Quick story time, y'all. Hold on. I don't give a fuck about how I look. I never do. All right, look. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? So boom. I was dealing with somebody, right? This happened a few weeks ago. I was dealing with somebody, and then I have a little sister. Now, every time, you know, me and this boy go through it, you know, I'm writing my sister venting. She'll, oh, what's his number? I'm about to text him and curse him out. You know, that's my sister. Cool. I give her the number. She curses him out. They always think he be telling her, like, no, your sister, She showed me the text, you know, back and forth, regular shit. Cool. Now, prior, right? My sister texts me out the blue. Now, mind you, my sister pisses me off because I never tell her no. I always accept her cash app requests and charm requests. Like, feel me? I even make the boy I was dealing with Apple Pay her, all type of shit. Like, I never really tell my sister no, or her daughter no, or the new one that she just had. I don't say no. And she knows that because we had a deep conversation one time, and she was like, you know, where you fuck up in life is that you don't know how to say no. And I have a very big heart, and I'm a Taurus. People say I'm a narcissistic, I'm manipulated, and oh, you're selfish, you only care about yourself. And oh, I really care about a lot, but I'm not about to go on my way to prove nothing because I don't give a fuck about you or what you talking about, weirdo. Anyways, long story short, right? So time push come to shove. So now, me and my sister, we fake get into an argument because she texted me out the blue talking about some, what we doing for such and such Christmas, which is my niece's Christmas. I said, who we? I know what I'm doing. What you doing? That's your kid. Like, why you ain't been think to get up off your ass to go do something? Like, when you have kids, no, you have to sacrifice. I don't give a fuck if you gotta turn into a 304. Like, girl. Long story short, shorty, but hold on, prior to this, let me just skip. Prior to this, right, I basically got a guy that was doing like half off on Skims, half off on Amazon, boom, 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 boom. He did orders for me last year and shit was peachy. So I'm like, all right, boom, I hit him up this year, he was ready, cool. So now I gave him my mom Amazon account, you know, he do the piece or whatever. I sent him like $400, and the cart was really like a band. So I'm like, okay, 400 not bad. So I sent him the 400, like, okay, cool, whatever. So now, like, my mom like had an attitude. I don't know if she woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So I'm like, Mom, send me the code, you know, because you know when you sign in on the Amazon account, you gotta get the code. So she got an attitude, like, can you wait? Like, she's just being a bitch to me. And it's like, yo, bro, everything in the car is like, it's literally a phone for you. My brother, it's a wig for my sister. It's the furry boo she wanted. It's my niece's Switch she wanted. iPad pen, all type of shit. Like, I don't have to do any of this. Are you bitches dumb? Anyways. Now that comes or whatever. Now it's all I'm probably talking too long. Let me hurry up. So long story short, it's all of that stuff. Or my mom is just being such a bitch. Boom. Now he does want the Switch. It goes through. Cool. Now he's trying to put another piece so he can do the rest of the shit. My mom just being a bitch. She not cooperating. I'm like, yo, you now I'm getting annoyed. Now we start going back and forth. The bitch calls herself blocking me. It's like, why are you blocking me? And I gave this boy my money and he has a piece and he's trying to get an account to finish doing what he gotta do. She's being a bitch. She's not ignoring me. I'm calling my sister. Calling. When some reason my sister get around her raggedy ass baby dad, she don't answer the phone because I don't like that, and he don't do shit for his daughter, her, nothing. He just ruin her life every time. But anyways, yeah. So long story short, the bitch not answer my call. She's a weirdo. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all want to be weird now? Boom. So now the boy like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I can't give you back your money. He's like, I can give you back 100 or 150, and they only send me back 150. And I ain't even mad at you, shorty, because it's like you brought the pieces already. You was ready to do what you gotta do for me, and it was them being weird. They didn't do their part. Long story short, bro. He gave me back only $150. That shit had me pissed off, but it's like, I got back something. Y'all Christmas is done up. Y'all can't ask me for shit. Fuck out my face. I'm gonna still get something for my niece, but now she gotta wait. Like, y'all playing with my bread now. Like, what the fuck you think gonna work? Bitch, gonna work for my health. Long story short now, she texted me a week, 2 weeks ago past. She tell like, what we doing for her Christmas? Fuck, what you mean what we doing for her Christmas? What I'm doing? I'm like, I know I'm getting her stuff. So now I'm breaking it down. So I'm telling her, I'm like, no, I'm tired of feeling like I'm getting used. I'm tired of never telling y'all no. Like, that's annoying. I know what I'm doing. Figure out your part or whatever the case may be. That's it. Like, don't work. Like, this not no, I'm not your baby dad. Figure it out. Like, respectfully. So now she like, oh, bitch, now she feel like, she's just start coming at me. Like, I start coming at her now. She blocks my number. Cool. Bitch blocks my number. And then she goes and texts the nigga I was dealing with a big ass paragraph. And then he screenshot sent to me like, so I'm like, what you thought that was gonna make him send you money, have remorse? I'm like, you was a weird bitch. Like, fuck is wrong with you? Then it's like, I'm trying to text her. Why would you block me just to text in that paragraph when you could have texted me the paragraph? You feel what I'm saying? Then you got me on TikTok. I had my Instagram deactivated at the time. Then you got me on TikTok. Why you couldn't just take and write me. Like, feel what I'm saying? Why you couldn't just take and write me on TikTok? Like, you get what I'm saying? Something. You decided to block me. So I took my best friend's phone. I text a paragraph like, you a weird bitch. I'm violating her. I'm a tourist. My mouth is lethal. I'm violating her. Blocked her, and then I erased it on my best friend's phone after recently deleted because, like, she don't need to see what we going through. Feel me? Even as my best friend, I can tell her shit, but it's like, bro, I don't have time for it. I don't need you to see me bombing my little sister. Feel me? Deleted it. So she screenshots it and sent it to his phone like, oh, since that bitch wanna play, like, bitch, that's why you fuck this nigga, that nigga. She just started going crazy doing all that, and it's like, and then it's like she wrote me a paragraph on TikTok too to block my TikTok. It's like, why would you block my number, block my TikTok? Not text me or no text free, no nothing like you usually do when you want to go back and forth for me. Not have my mother text me, my brother text me and send me the messages, my cousin, nothing. You wanted to text a nigga that I was dealing with. Mad at my business, personal business. It's giving you jealous, you envious bitch. And now in my room, because I just don't want no dealings with her ever again in life. Cut off, you're blocked off everything. I love my niece to death, but if you want to block me from a phone that I brought her and that I was paying the bill on, that's cool too. I'm just over it. It's like I'm tired of overplaying my part. Like, everybody be like, oh, that's the only film you got, you self out. Bro, what the fuck is y'all talking about? Like, y'all, it's about to be a new year. I'm not letting people walk all over me or play with me, bro. Like, and it's like, only God knows that I'm so happy you live in another state. Because I love my sister to death, but I will stomp it. Jesus, Lord. Bitch, why you playing with me? And it's like, you trying to shame me? Yes, I did fuck this nigga. Yes, I did do that. Like, girl, what? I don't know. Yeah, I tried to text her back like, yeah, I did. Like, what? Like, I don't know what this bitch thought she was doing. But in my mind, like, that was just jealousy. That was just some weird shit. So y'all just let me know if I'm wrong or about the whole situation, about the whole thing. Because, like, in my mind, I'm just done with her. And that's it. That's why I don't have no friends. I don't give a fuck about a sister. No, none of that. Because bitches are weird all around me, bro. It's weird. Like, all I do is try to go out my way for my family and friends and shit. And I always get over. Like, I don't get it. Like, yeah, it's really sad. Like, I don't know. I don't even be hurt about shit no more. It's just like, y'all tell me, am I wrong about the situation? Or like, how should I go about the situation? You feel what I'm trying to say? Because in my mind, I feel like I said what I had to say, and that was that. I started ODing at the end, like, you know, whatever, but she was ODing too. But it's just like, you didn't have to text him all of that stuff. You didn't have to text him my business. You didn't have to do none of that. You're just a weirdo, and there's nothing to talk about. Like, I don't ever want to fuck with you again. Because no matter how mad I ever got at her, or every time my sister would be like, yo, send me this, cash out, send me this, or I ain't go food shopping, I ain't get my food stamps, no this, is no that, right now in the house, I never once text her baby, so I was like, oh, you bum ass nigga, or I never try to find his social media, or I know his social media, but I never text him like, oh, why the fuck is no this, or why is no that, going crazy on him, or I never got mad and text her like, oh yeah, all her business and shit. I never ever did that. So it's like, what made you think that you could text a nigga that I was dealing with and try to, well, you ain't try to bash me. A bitch could never bash me. That's only I'm Cody, bitch. It's no realer than this. Like, I say what it is and what it ain't. I don't give a fuck about nobody's opinions. Like, what? I mean, I might listen to it, but do I really care now? I will call you and ask you, should I wait this to this? And you gonna say this, I'm gonna think in my head, and put something else on. Like, feel what I'm trying to say? And I always be thinking people got hate and hidden ass agendas when it comes to me and shit anyway. So I don't really take people word or listen to people. Feel what I'm trying to say? But I just want to know, like, am I wrong for the situation? Like, be honest. Like, tell me your opinions. And sisters is not supposed to argue or even go through shit like this. But, like, you get weird, I'm gonna get weird up. You be weird, I'm gonna be weird too. Or you just think that you can just slide with certain shit you do is quiet. And then the nigga was like, yeah, that shit so sad. Then yo, what? Like, yo, bro, I don't know what family you used to. If you used to your family being weird to you and then you right back cool, nigga, that's you. That's not me. I'm not into that. You be weird to me, I don't give a fuck who you is. I got a family, I walk past on 125th for shit all the time. Give a fuck about y'all, watch out. Bitch, we not little no more. I don't care. Y'all niggas can't do nothing for me. I can't do for myself. But what? Still birth certificate and socials and all of this weird shit. Like, family, I do not like a lot of my family. Like, they not even family. They so weird. And then bitches that it's so COVID, they monsters and spirits. They not even family. Weird. Be chilling with people I don't like. Well, yeah. I'm wrong.
I got caught in 6th grade. In 6th grade, this new boy comes into our school, and I am absolutely feral for boys at this point. Like, I was dating the whole school, and I was like, this will be my man, no matter what. I go up to him, and we absolutely hit it off, and we actually do decide to date that day. I mean, he wanted me, because I was that bitch. At one point, we even went to Lagoon together. I mean, like, me and him were serious. Like, we were hanging out all the time, and we went to Lagoon together, and his mom took us, and my mom picked us up. And I was poor at the time, so it was really hard to try and get my mom to let me go to Lagoon because it was so expensive. I know I wasn't that bitch. I thought I was significantly more that bitch before, but anyways, yeah, that was me, and that was in 2015. And this is gonna be the weirdest thing I ever said, but one time I hit him with a trampoline pole and he started crying, and I had this really weird thing for boys who cried. Like, there was a guy in my class who he cried because he didn't pass a test, and I was like, you are beautiful. So maybe that was my first, like, sign of a weird kink. Part 2.
It's a fun fact Friday, except instead of a fun fact, it's another horrifying story. I firstly just need to say thank you so much for all of the support over the last 24 hours. Waking up to 100,000 people following me is crazy. I feel like the Ashby of trauma But actually, like, to be so serious, it feels crazy, and I'm really appreciative, and just the outpouring of love and support has been stunning. Anyway, I'm not good at emotions, so we're just gonna go on. We are gonna finish out the nanny story. People were asking, have I heard from her since? Did I hear from her ever again? Not directly. So I was 12 in the motorhome story. We're gonna skip some years, and now we're in college. Okay, so as far as grandparents that I had at the time, Nana, my UK grandmother, who I loved, different to Nanny. It's confusing because they had very similar names. Nana had passed away. She passed away before I turned 16. Nanny, excommunicated from the family. We don't talk to her, acknowledge her, so I don't consider her at all. We have my mom's dad, Fred, who was lovely, like just kind of a grumpy old man, but totally fine. And then my UK grandpa, who was just the best. My British grandparents were my world. This story involves Fred, who Nanny married. So Fred never remarried. I'm sure he was traumatized. He was kind of a recluse, and his emergency contact remained Nanny. So Grandpa Fred and Nanny at the time both lived in Colorado. Not together, but like they were both in Colorado. I had weekly little catch-up phone calls with Grandpa Fred while I was in college, and on one of those weeks he missed a phone call. So didn't have family to call to see what happened to Grandpa Fred, because it was just Nanny. And I know that Grandpa Fred was in the military, so if he had a medical emergency, he would probably go to a military hospital. I'm calling all the military hospitals in Colorado, and I finally get a hold of the one that's like, we have him. And they told me that he had had this medical emergency and things are not looking good, and if we're not based in the state, we should come out. So we come to Colorado. So originally it was just gonna be me. I had my own little money from working in college, and I booked a flight to Denver. I told my mom the situation. She hadn't spoken to her dad in I don't even know how many years, and so she originally didn't want to come. And I was going either way, but I told her I think it would be really important for you to say your goodbyes to your dad, and so she comes, we make a little trip of it. I get to the hospital, and in his room there's a whiteboard of like his care team, and at the top it had, you know, like family contact, and it was blank. So I put in my number and my mom's number because we were there to visit him and we were family. So we see him the first day. It's obviously super emotional, and there's this reunion between him and my mom. I'm crying. We're all just like wishing him well. It was super emotional. And then we leave the hospital. We go back to his place to spend the night. We go back to the hospital the next morning, and we go into his room, and the first thing I see is that my name has been wiped off of the whiteboard. My number, everything, totally erased. So I pull one of the nurses aside, and I'm like, hey, my contact information has been erased. Like, what's that about? Like, I'm here, my mom's here, like, we're a direct family, what's going on? And she says, oh, well, his emergency contact came and said that you're not family. So Nanny had come to the hospital because this is when we figured out he's got her listed as his emergency contact. She showed up to the hospital and erased our name off the whiteboard, knowing that we were there. So we tell the nurses, you know, this is his next of kin, I'm the granddaughter, our names should be up there, like, we're gonna keep visiting, please put our contact info back up. We get that all cleared up, and then we go back to his house to spend the night. And picture like an old grandpa's house. Like, there's photos of us everywhere. There's pictures of me, there's pictures of my mom, there's pictures of all of us, me growing up, my little brother. Like, it's a grandpa's house. There's photos everywhere. When we get to his house, I think, oh, a picture's fallen down. So I go and pick it up. It's like a picture of me as a kid. I'm like, oh, adorable, whatever. No, every single picture that had me and or my mom were turned face down throughout his entire apartment. Not all of his photos, just the ones that had me and my mom, or just me. So that was terrifying. Clearly she had a spare key to his house, and, you know, it was like a just in case kind of thing, and just wanted to cause some mischief. Yeah, we left Colorado, we said our goodbyes. Grandpa Fred passed away a few days later, and when we reached out to try and get his funeral arrangement information, she like shut it down. She was his emergency contact, and like, we don't even know where Fred is buried to this day. So that's kind of the last we heard from Nanny, except when she was turning down all the pictures in Fred's house of me, one of those pictures must have been related to me, like either getting into college or me standing in front of my school, something, because she found out what college I was going to, and I don't know how many letters she sent, but I know that she sent several letters to my school saying that I should be kicked out of school for stealing her last name, because my last name is hyphenated, because my parents weren't married when I was born. And so I got pulled into the office like multiple times, and the woman was so nice who worked at my school, and she was like, before we even get into this, mental illness runs in my family too. That this woman has been writing us, and we just wanted to let you know. Yeah. Also, I went to music school, and the woman in the office was like, if you wanted your name to be Xylophone, that would be fine. This is your legal name. But even if it wasn't, like, you can have a stage name here. We just want to alert you that this crazy lady has been writing the school for quite a while. And that led me on a deep dive to then like find her Facebook, because she's old. Of course she's on Facebook. Of course it was public. Like, she didn't know how to like make it private. Every day or every week, I can't remember, but her only Facebook status for years was Scarlett is not my granddaughter. Every week. For the people that are like, out her, give us her name, she's still alive and she's crazy. Like, Nanny is nutso. I don't want to summon that kind of energy. Every day for God knows how long, and she's like, Scarlett is not my granddaughter. She wasn't texting, but like, probably. Yeah. So that's the Nanny story. Hopefully there's no updates ever, except because I Google it all the time, and she's like, she's still kicking. Happy